Today I'm going to talk to you about the dangers of using your cell phone while driving. In 2011, a study was done that showed that 23% of all auto accidents were caused by people using their cell phones while they were driving. That might not seem like a lot, but in 1 year's time, that's 1.3 million accidents that could have been avoided had the person not been using their cell phone. Today I'm going to talk to you about the dangers and the consequences of using your cell phone while you drive. I'm also going to share a personal story and then give you some alternatives to using your phone while you're driving. Cell phone use while driving is something that actually affects everybody. It's not something that only young drivers do. I've seen elderly drivers using their phone while they're driving. I've seen young people, I've seen people my age, and it's just something that's getting really out of hand. 15% of young drivers say that they've seen their parents text and drive or use their cell phone while they've been driving. It's really important that we lead by example because someone's always watching you, whether it's your child in the car, your brother or sister that's in your car with you, or even people on the outside of your vehicle, because people can see into our cars and see what we're doing. You can always see the little blue glow when someone's driving down the highway at night and using their cell phone. A lot of towns have ordinances against using your cell phone while you're driving. In my town, there's a sign on the main street that says that you can be fined for cell phone use. Also at our schools, it says that you can be fined for cell phone use. And they're not small fines, they're pretty big fines, up to I think $500 in the school area. I did have a friend, his name was Blake. He was a bailiff at the sheriff's department. I worked with him. I also worked with his wife. So imagine that you come home from work and you're doing dishes, you've got a newborn baby that you're trying to take care of while you're waiting for your husband to come home, and while you're starting dinner you hear a knock at the door. When you go answer the door, there are two officers standing at your door, and they give you the worst news possible. Your husband was involved in an accident and you need to come to the hospital right now because it doesn't look like he's going to make it. So my friend went to the hospital. Her husband had sustained some injuries from an auto accident. He was doing everything right. He drove a motorcycle to work that day. He had his helmet on. He had his jacket and gloves to protect himself. He was going through a green light and there was a driver at a protected turn. She was on her phone. She was texting someone. The text message that she was replying with said okay, and she went through the protected light. She didn't see Blake on his motorcycle and she T-boned him with her car. He had several broken bones, his spleen was ruptured, and he didn't make it. He left behind a 21-year-old son, a 13-year-old daughter, and a 3-month-old daughter, and his wife. And so, seeing what texting and driving can do firsthand has really changed my outlook on it. It makes it more real that it can happen to you, and if you're not careful, it could happen to you or someone you love. And it also really brought home the fact that it's not just you that you have to worry about. You need to pay attention to the other drivers on the road because they could also be doing something that they're not supposed to be doing and putting other lives in danger. So, some alternatives to texting and driving. The first one would be just don't do it. You can put your phone on silent and put it either in a bag, in your purse, in the seat next to you. Just put it to where it's out of sight, out of mind, so when you get to where you're going, you can pick it up and check and see if you have any messages. That's not realistic for everybody. You might have an emergency call that you are worried about missing. If you have a passenger, your passenger could read your message for you and reply to it for you. Also, a lot of new cars are equipped with hands-free devices where you can connect them to your Bluetooth before you start your trip, and it can read your messages aloud. If you have an iPhone, I know you can do Hey Siri, and she will read your text message for you, and then you can reply as well. It's not a perfect fix, but it could potentially save a life, and I think that's what we all want, is to have that husband, have that father be there for, the child's first birthday, instead of missing everything and her growing up without a dad. It was really sad. I urge you to go to itcanwait.com and take the pledge to stop texting and driving. Thank you.